Hello learners! In this video, we will discuss factoring the perfect square trinomials. Isa ito sa mga method in factoring different kinds of polynomials. Now, let us define what is a perfect square trinomial. A perfect square trinomial is a polynomial with three terms that has squared first and last terms. Its middle term is twice the product of the square root of the first and last terms. So, yun yung ating mga kailangan na condition para magamit natin ang factoring method na ito. First, the given is a trinomial. Second, yung first and last terms ng ating given trinomial ay meron dapat square root. Or in short, perfect square, dapat yung dalawang yun, yung first and last terms. Now, the last condition is yung ating para sa middle term. Ang condition na yon, if kunin mo yung square root ng last and first terms, and kapag kinuha mo yung product ng square root ng dalawa, ang result niya ay kapag i-multiply mo sa 2 naman, pag nakuha mo yung middle term, ibig sabihin, yung given na trinomial is a perfect trinomial. Again, dapat yung middle term twice the product of the square root of the first and last terms. Now, meron tayong dalawang pattern na sinusunod. If yung ating lahat ng values or lahat ng sign ng ating terms sa perfect square trinomial ay positive, we will use the first pattern, which is yung a plus b times a plus b or a plus b squared. Now, if ever naman yung middle term ng ating perfect square trinomial is minus sign, okay, yung meron, so we will use yung nasa babang pattern. A minus b times a minus b or a plus b squared. Now, correction, this is not a plus b squared. Okay, yung nasa baba, yan, it should be a minus b. Okay, take note of that. It should be a minus b. Yan, sorry for the error. Okay, hindi yan siya a plus b. Now, since alam na natin yung pattern and yung mga conditions na kailangan, let's proceed with an example. Factor 16x squared plus 16x plus 4. Now, let us identify the value of a squared and b squared, the first term and the last term. Our a squared is 16x squared, and our b squared is 4, or the last term is 4. Step 2, let us verify if merong square root yung dalawang value natin, which is yung value ng a squared and b squared. So for a squared, let us get its square root. Okay, the square root of 16x squared. And we will get 4x. So meron siyang square root. How about naman sa value ng b? Let us get the square root of 4, which the answer is, yan, 2. Now, since pareho merong square root, okay, na-satisfy na yung ating dalawang condition. Trinomial yung given, and merong square root yung first and last terms. Now, tignan natin if kung kunin natin yung twice ng product ng A and B, pag nakuha natin yung result yun, tignan natin if mag-match siya sa middle term ng ating given na trinomial. And since nag-match, so 2 times 4x is 8x, times 2, 16x, yan, nag-match siya doon sa middle term ng ating given na trinomial. Therefore, that is an example of a perfect square trinomial. Kaya ang gagamitin natin ay yung pattern na ginagamit when factoring perfect square trinomials. And since lahat ay positive sa terms na given na ating trinomial, ang gagamitin natin na pattern ay yung pinakauna. A plus b times a plus b or yung a plus b squared. And by substituting the values of a and b, we will get 4x plus 2 times 4x plus 2 or 4x plus 2 squared. And That is the factor of our given trinomial. Now, let us proceed with the second example. We have 9 over 16 m raised to 4 n to the power of 6 minus 15 halves m squared and cube plus 25. So let's identify the value of our a squared and b squared. We have a squared is equal to 9 over 16 m to the 4th power times n raised to the power of 6. Our b squared is 25. Next, our second step, square roots of a squared and b squared are 3/4 m squared and cube. And for the b naman, we have 5. Now, dalawang condition na yung ating na-meet. Trinomial yung given and merong square roots ang a and b natin. A squared and b squared natin. So, ang verify na lang natin ngayon is kung pareho ba yung middle term ng ating given trinomial pag kinuha natin yung twice ng product ng a and b. So, getting their products, or their product, we have negative 15 halves. Okay. Yan, orbit natin. 2 times 3/4 is 3 halves. 3 halves times 5 is 15 halves. So, tama. Negative 15 halves m squared and cube. So, therefore, since nag-match yung ating answer doon sa middle term ng ating given na trinomial, magagamit natin yung pattern when factoring perfect square trinomials. Now, as you have noticed, yung middle term ng ating given trinomial ay minus yung kanyang sign. Meron siyang negative sign. So, therefore, we will use the second pattern, which is a minus b times a minus b or a minus b squared. And by substituting the values of a and b, makukuha na natin yung factored form ng ating given na perfect square trinomial, which is 3/4 m squared and cube minus 5 times itself, or the square of 3/4 m squared and cube minus 5. And that's all. Yun lang ang tungkol sa factoring method na factoring perfect square trinomial.